Hi, welcome back. I have had quite a few new products sitting on my desk that have yet to be tried out for the past couple weeks. I have not had the opportunity to try them out, so I wanted to for today's video. We've got Clinique, bareMinerals, Jouer. Clinique has this foundation. I think this has been out for a while, but they did send it to me and I've been pretty intrigued by it. It's the Even Better Clinical Serum foundation. I don't know much about it. I don't know if it's full coverage. I don't know. Well, okay, it says billable full coverage on the back. bareMinerals has a new mineral veil formula. Jouer sent me some products. I've never tried Jouer. I don't know how that has skipped my routine, but they actually make cream eyeshadow sticks. So I have one of those to try out. And yeah, it's just gonna be a try on fest for today's video. Okay, starting out with Clinique foundation, I don't know how many pumps I should do. I'm just gonna do like 1.5 to be safe. And I think I'm gonna apply this. Something tells me I need to apply this with my blender. So I've got the old sponge back out. This is the Real Techniques Face and Body Sponge. Yes, it is massive and it does the work, baby. Okay. This is pretty full coverage. Like, we're getting coverage here. By the way, the shade that I'm using, this is another thing that gets me with Clinique. I can never, ever get a shade that is like proper for me. You know what I mean? I feel like this is like, it looks very orange on me. And it's the shade 28. Very Fair Ivory. This is already oxidizing. Like, this is turning super orange on me. And the shade is 28 Ivory. It's a very light shade. It's considered a very fair shade in their lineup. Let me see. I wonder, I got one other shade. I think it's a little bit lighter. I wonder if I need to go with it. Okay, I've switched. They did send me another one. I switched to 20 Fair, and it hardly looks any different when I pump it out on my hand, but let's see if it does a little bit better on my face because I am getting orange vibes on my jawline. Okay, let's try this side. The only difference in these is that this one is showing up more orange. This one's showing up super pink. I think in Viewfinder, this side's showing up a little bit better. So like I was saying, I have really enjoyed a lot of Clinique's foundation formulas throughout the years, but I have been begging them to somehow rethink their shade selection. I don't get this. Every foundation I've ever owned from them is either extremely orange or peachy or pink. Like, there's no in between for me. And this formula actually looks really pretty on my skin, but it's hard to look past when your face is more of like an unnatural tone. So this actually reminds me a lot of Clinique Beyond Perfecting. I see a very close similarity in the finish and the coverage. It might have slightly less coverage, but I mean, look, this is covered basically my whole face, and I could definitely get fuller if I wanted to. I don't, but I could. Yeah, I'm really looking at this and I'm getting Beyond Perfecting vibes. It actually on my skin is showing up as a pretty like matte finish. There's, I mean, barely any glow going on. This seems to be like a pretty matte product. So I do have the matching concealer for this. We're gonna go ahead and use 20 Fair in it as well. This looks dark, it looks pretty dark, and I thought that this was gonna be a little twist up concealer because there's a sponge on this end, but it does not appear that it twists. It just has a regular doe foot applicator, and I'm assuming the sponge is for you to blend out the concealer, which we're not gonna do. We're gonna roll with our own method, which is face and body sponge. Yeah, this concealer is pretty dark. Keep in mind, I'm a little bit tan right now. Like, this is tan for me. And I don't know. I wonder how many shades are below 20 fair, because 20 fair sounds like it's going to be pretty fair. It's very hard to get in between my nose with this. It's one of those foundations where if you don't get in between your nose, you're going to have that nasty foundation crack. And we don't want that. Okay, overall, I'm just going to say don't hate it, don't love it. At this point, I do not feel confident to put any type of bronzer on my face because I'm afraid I'm going to walk out of my house today. I've got places to be. I'm afraid I'm going to walk out of my house today looking like an Oompa Loompa. So let's skip bronzer and let's go into this lovely little guy here. This is the Jouer Blush and Bloom Uplift Cheek and Lip Duo. So we have got, I think, 2 colors. Yes, 2 colors here. We've got kind of more of a blushy rose tone on one end, and then my favorite, a nice little nude color on the other end. I'm assuming you can use both of these for lips and cheeks. So let's test out the nude color first. On a scale of 1 to 10, how dark does my face look? Leave me a comment down below. I'm going to take my little Merit multitasking brush. This is a great brush that kind of does everything for you. We're just going to tap into the cheeks. Oh yeah, lovely, kind of like nude peach tone. So this shade that I'm using, it's called Uplift Me. There's two colors in the little duo. This one is Uplift Me. So since I'm not going to do a bronzer on my face today, I'm going to add a little bit of highlighter. We know I skip out on highlighter a lot, but this is the Selena Gomez Rare Beauty highlighter in the shade Transcend. It's kind of like a nice little peachy rose gold moment. I just thought it would add a nice little pop to the cheeks. I had this little Jouer bronzer to test out, but I'm telling you, if bronzer goes on my face right now, we're going to have a problem. We're going to have a problem. Although I feel like this does not need to be set with my skin type, like this is pretty much dry. It's not transferring. It doesn't feel sticky. It's very much like a flat matte finish. I still want to test out the new bareMinerals Mineral Veil. This is the new pressed formula. They had a formula at one point that was pressed, but I'm assuming this is a new one. And I got 3 shades in. I got Translucent, Sheer Fair, and Sheer Light. We're going to use Sheer Fair today because, like I said, I don't need any more color added to my face. And this is definitely a super, super light powder. I'm not really sure how this is supposed to be much different from the older pressed Mineral Veil formula. I will say, just feeling of it, it feels a little bit more buttery, like a little bit softer. But other than that, I'm not exactly sure. Looks nice, reminds me of Mineral Veil. Charlotte Tilbury Legendary Brows. I'm telling you, if you have not tried this yet, you are missing out. It makes doing your eyebrows so easy. So let's move into the eyes. I have, as I stated, Jouer's Creme eyeshadow crayon. I only have one color. It's called Baroque, and it's a really nice kind of bronzy copper penny tone. I just want to play around with this and see what kind of like payoff we get. Okay, so right off the bat, it's a little bit more draggy, aka a little bit drier than, let's compare it to our superior formula, which is Caviar Stick. Yeah, definitely on the drier side. It's dried. We don't love to see that in the cream eyeshadow community. This is very much reminding me of CoverGirl Queenship Shadow, except probably drier. Huh. Yeah, I'm getting like no workability with this. It's literally, it's dry when I apply it. I think I'm gonna stop there with this because my eyelids are already pretty dry and I can just tell this isn't gonna be my moment. This isn't going to be this product's moment to shine. The only time I can think of when a cream eyeshadow has this formula, people that it would be good for are people who have really oily lids because it has a very heavy grip to it. I don't feel like it's gonna go anywhere, but even just applying right now, it's pretty dry formula. I feel like this is why cream eyeshadows often get a bad rap. I'm getting, it's just very hard to work with, very hard to blend out. And I'm not getting like the most like stunning kind of color payoff with this either. Okay, scratch that. Let's play around with a couple more shades of the Rose Gold collection from Laura Mercier. I did use a couple of these in a video last month, I think, but I don't think I used these colors. I'm gonna use Bed of Roses and Wild Rose. The Caviar stick is like erasing over this like it's nothing. Like as far as pigment goes, do we see that? It's like covered. By the way, the brush that I'm using, I asked about this brush a lot in videos and I never list it because I'm just not familiar with the brand and there's a really weird story with this brush company. So it had to have been a couple years ago. This full brush set showed up on my doorstep and the brand is called Complex Culture. I have no idea how it ended up there. When you work in social media and you get products sent to you occasionally, I feel like I'm to this point to where either PR agents that work with companies, they move around to different brands and they take people's addresses with them. So for example, I will get products from brands that have never reached out to me on social media. They've never emailed me. I have no email contacts with them. Packages just show up on my doorstep. And I don't know like how they got my address. So that's the only explanation I can think of. I've just been doing this for so long. I feel like my address kind of has gotten tossed around. So I think that might be the case with this brand because these brushes showed up on my doorstep from an agency that I had like no affiliation with. I had no affiliation with this brand. And at the time, they just were selling these brushes on their website, and they very well still could be. I really haven't looked into it. So the reason I have not listed these brushes, or when someone asks me what the brush name is, it's honestly because I have had these for such a long time. The brand name is not on these, just their like watermark, and I truly forgot what the brand was called until a couple weeks ago. I think an ad popped up for these brushes and I was like, okay, those are the brushes that I've had. Those are the brushes everyone asks about. And the brand is Complex Culture. So if you see me using brushes with like this gray handle and just this kind of silver stem, that's all I know. I know nothing else. But yeah, on several occasions, things just show up on my doorstep and I'm like, how did these people, like, you know what I mean? How did this get here? Okay, we're gonna take Wild Rose and I'm just gonna pop this on my inner corner. Maybelline Sky High mascara. I will say I've been using Vegamore's lash serum to help grow my lashes. They've definitely grown in length. I haven't really seen much volume, but I understand in order to get more volume, I just have to have completely new lashes grow. So they have gotten a little bit longer. Do my lashes look longer? I definitely feel like this side does. This side's kind of like my slacker eye though. I feel like the lashes have never been as long on this side. But I feel like I notice a difference when I wear mascara now. So rounding this out, I have the Jouer Longwear Cream Lip Liner. This one is in the shade Sienna with a lip balm. This is the Essential Lip Enhancer Balm in Amaryllis. So we're gonna have a nice little nude moment on the lips to finish this out. Okay, we are finished. Love that final lip color. That's like the perfect light kind of caramel brown nude. It gave me the feels when I put that on. So love that for me. I think that's a beautiful combo. As far as everything else goes, I'm just going to go ahead and say the Clinique foundation, Beyond Perfecting vibes. I mean, I liked that foundation back in the day, but this just really reminds me of that. Maybe slightly thinner. Maybe like it's slightly more natural cousin. You know what I mean? Anyways, I would recommend if you're looking into the Clinique foundation, definitely just double check because I'm wearing, like I said, 20 Very Fair, and I feel like it could definitely surpass into the light medium category, just the way that the undertone is. But surprisingly enough, it did set pretty well on my skin. If you like fuller coverage, I have a feeling I'm not gonna love this by the end of the day. I always report back in the comments when I do videos like this that are kind of more first impression. I try to report back in the comments on the longevity. That eye pencil though, we had to make a speedy recovery with the queen with a Caviar stick, and I think we did. I kind of like the two colors layered together. Reminds me of Amethyst from Laura Mercier. So I hope you enjoyed seeing some of these products in action. Let me know if you have any questions down below, and I will see y'all in my next video. Bye.